Hello lovely internet, it's me, Hannah, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the first book I have read of 2023. It's very surprising to me how fast I was able to read this book because when I read chunky books, it normally takes me like about a month to read, especially like if it's fantasy or if it's past like 500 pages. It takes me a while to read. Like, for example, when I read A Court of Mist and Fury, that one is a pretty chunky book, and that took me maybe about a month or two to read. So the book that I have finished is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, and I absolutely love this book. Wow, wow, wow. Was this intense? It was very surprising, actually. And it is pretty beefy. Yeah. So The Bone Season is a dystopian book with a little bit of urban fantasy kind of mixed within the dystopian, and it follows Paige Mahoney, I think that's how you pronounce her last name, Paige Mahoney, who works for this underground crime syndicate in London, and this is set in a world where clairvoyance is seen as unnatural, and unnaturals have powers of clairvoyance where they can talk and sense and use spirits as a form of magic. And our book kicks off with Paige being kidnapped and taken away to this place where she is put into slavery. And that's where the novel begins. And it's like the first 50 pages is when like shit happens and it's intense. There are a couple points in the book that are quite intense. Like chapter 8 is intense because the first death happens within the novel, and it was a sad one. And I love this. I mean, this was originally published in 2013, and I do know that the 10th anniversary edition comes out sometime this summer, and I'm absolutely going to not watch it. I'm absolutely gonna buy it and put it in my collection because I think this is a wonderful start of a series. I think it's a great debut novel. So The Bone Season is first out in, I believe, 7 books in a series, and there are currently 4 out right now. I believe there's the third one is, I think it's like a novella. Yeah, I think it's a great start to a series. The one thing I will have to say that is, it's a negative yet also at the same time it is positive, is that a lot of stuff happens. There's a lot of world building and there's a lot of magic involved. There's a lot of info dumping in pretty much every chapter, and it does feel at times like it was a lot, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. I kind of felt like, is it possible for a fantasy novel to have too much world building? That was what I was questioning a lot when I was reading it. But honestly, no. I don't think any fantasy novel or sci-fi can have too much world building. I think world building is super important for fantasy, especially if it's a big one. And especially magic too. Magic systems are important if, in your fantasy novel has magic. There's a lot of politics involved in this. There's a lot of deceit going on. There's a lot of shenanigans going on. I did enjoy the politics in this. I feel like it's a huge part of the story and a huge part of what influences and navigates the story. I loved Paige. I loved her journey for her realizing that the power she has isn't scary, and she has this point in the novel where she just is afraid of herself and she does not want to use her power because she hasn't really used her power that much. And there's a part in the novel where her Paige is a dreamwalker. Dreamwalkers can basically go into people's dreamscapes and go into their minds. And there is a point in this novel toward I think the end part of it, where Warden, her master turned um, teacher, and he's trying to prepare her for the worst. Basically, Nashira, who is our main villain, and I'm pretty sure she's going to be the main villain throughout the next 3 novels. Oh yeah, I should explain the context of the villains. So there are these group of people called the Rehaim. Don't know. I don't know if I'm pronouncing things correctly, so forgive me if I am saying things incorrectly. There is a glossary in the back of this book, which is great. I love when novels, like fantasy novels and sci-fi, have glossaries because it definitely helps explain a lot of vocabulary that makes no sense. But in our world, in the novel, there is a group of people or like species or something, a kind of species of clairvoyance called the Rehaim, and they aren't from the human world. They come from a different realm inside the aether, I think. Ether. It's not really clear yet who and what they are, but all we know really is that they're powerful and they have been working alongside Scion for 200 years, and they have agreed to, basically take all of his clairvoyants and make them slaves so they can prepare an army to kill this species that has been attacking them for over 200 years. The species are called buzzers, and I don't know what the other term they call them, but it's also kind of unclear where those come from, and they are a threat. So Warden, or Arcturus, I think is his actual name, but he goes by Warden. He becomes Paige's warden and master, but it's kind of shown early on that he is not like all the other Rehaim, and he calls Paige by her real name. He calls every human by their real name. And he is just, oh, I love Warden so much, and I cannot wait to see their relationship blossom to more, because it is clear that it's building up to a big romance. And it is enemies to lovers, to enemies to kind of friends, to student and teacher, to lovers, potentially. There is a scene at the end which was like, oh, yes. But yeah. So Warden is a Rehaim, and he is not like the rest of the Rehaim. And our main villain is Nashira, and it's kind of explained that she is like the queen of them. She's the blood consort, or she's the queen. She's from the royal family of this species, or subspecies of the clairvoyants, and she is a bitch. she is scary, and she, from what she's been doing for the past 200 years, is that her power basically allows her to absorb other clairvoyants' powers by killing them, and so by killing them she gains their powers. And it's pretty clear really early on that she knows that Paige is a dreamwalker, and dreamwalkers are rare. They are a special type of clairvoyant. And it's pretty clear that she's gonna kill her. She wants to kill Paige. And we have this big climax at the end, or the last 100 pages, where we see Paige kind of gather all these other clairvoyants and also the Emacronics, who are basically humans who are not clairvoyant, who have also been enslaved. They are basically like performers, like they're like jesters, and it's very, very upsetting to see a lot of the stuff that goes on in this novel. And Paige kind of befriends a lot of her fellow people, her fellow family members now. And at the end, they revolt, and there's this big war that happens at this banquet, and she escapes. And her syndicate family comes and helps her to fight the Raheim, and it's just, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I read this. In other context too is that Liz, one of the friends that Paige makes, is an oracle. Basically, she can read cards and kind of not really see the future per se, but she can read people's cards, like tarot cards, basically. And in the middle of the book, Liz reads Paige's cards, and the cards that she gets are very interesting. I can't remember all of them, but she gets the Devil card, she gets the Lover's card, and the Hangman, I think. I could be wrong, but it's pretty clear that someone is holding her back, and the person that's holding her back is her current like mime lord that there was in the syndicate called Jackson Hall, who is, I don't like him. Toward the end of this novel, I actually really hated Jackson. He is no better than the Raheim. And there is a devil card, meaning that there is someone that's going to try to go against her, and I think it's Nashira. I could be wrong. It could also be Jackson, but again, I could be wrong. And the Lover's card, is clearly Warden, and it's I hope it is. And what else do I really want to mention? Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I read this in 11 days, which is like 2 weeks, which was very surprising to me because a book this size normally does not take me that long. It takes me longer to read, actually. And I loved it. I love this, and I cannot wait to read the next book. So yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else that I've missed. Yeah, I love Warden and Paige's relationship toward the end. They end up trusting each other, and they form this really close bond. Oh yeah, because they have protected each other and saved each other from death like multiple times, they have a golden cord connected to them, meaning that they are now fated. Which is, oh my gosh. Oh, swoony. Basically, no matter where they are, they can find each other, and they will do whatever it takes to protect each other. I love that part when that was revealed, and they are very fated now, and I love that. Also, the bone season in this is basically them collecting humans' bones, get it? Human people! And harvesting them for their powers. Before, so the bone season, the one that they're in right now, is bone season 20. And in bone season 18, there was a revolt where a couple Raheim and some of the slaves revolted. But a human told their little secret, and it ended, and all of them died. But the Raheim that helped the humans were scarred. And it was also revealed that Warden was one of those scarred people who helped the humans. and him and his other close Raheim friends also helped. There was like one of the Raheim toward the end that really shocked me because I was not expecting her to be one of the scarred ones and to be one of the Raheim that are helping the humans, because it seems so early on in like the first 50 pages or so that she was evil. But expect the unexpected when you read this book, okay? So many plot twists, so many twists and turns. So yeah, this has been my review for the Bone season, and I 100% recommend this. I believe I ended up giving this a 4.5-star rating, but because of Goodreads, I had to kind of round it up to 5. So yeah, comment down below if you've ever read the Bone season, or if you've read all the 4 books that are out right now. And yeah, like and comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.